Hello, my name is Mike Hall, and this is my final project for csc436, Offensive Security. I chose to do my project on BEEF, which is short for Browser Exploitation Framework. In this presentation, I will cover what BEEF is, a short look at how to set up your machine for use, and how to use it. So, what is BEEF? It is a tool that utilizes the browsers of a target's computer and enables you to push scripts and establish sessions. It uses JavaScript hidden within the source code of a website to hook a target computer and use that as the medium for entry. Now you might think sending out random links and hoping someone clicks on them may not yield any results, but the practical uses for BEEF require planning and legwork. I will go into further details later in the presentation. The first step to launching BEEF is to launch the Apache 2 service from terminal. From there, you can navigate to the BEEF directory and execute the program. This does two things: generates a service that manages the session, or hooks, and offers a graphic user interface for you to work from. It is very helpful in the initial stage. The BEEF service through terminal provides the URL for the user interface, as well as the URL that will be used to hook targets. Once set up, you can access the user interface through the URL provided. And just for simplicity's sake, we're going to navigate to the hook URL from a different computer. Once the URL has been visited, you can see all active or formerly active browsers, as well as view information about each computer. The Commands tab will allow you to explore the many options that exist. BEEF does a good job of not only giving you the options through a user interface, but also letting you know right away which exploits will work. Green exploits labeled down here, those will work, and they will do so invisibly without the user knowing. While amber will work and the user might receive a prompt. I don't have any white ones on my screen, but if you did, those would indicate that those have not been tested on this particular browser. And then the red, you could probably guess, means that those will not work on this machine. It is from here that you can navigate to different categories and find specific scripts to execute. Some of them even allow Metasploit to be used to establish interpreter sessions, such as the Java payload. You were to open up a Java interpreter session through Metasploit and assign the local host URL to your own, and then the local port to whatever port you desire. Once you push this script to the computer and they accept the JavaScript installation, you will be granted a interpreter shell or a interpreter session on their machine. And from there you could implant a shell or do any number of things. Now you may wonder why someone would click on a link and let their browser sit on a blank page. And that's where tools such as set can be used. You can duplicate a website or create your own geared towards the target's interests. All that is needed is to insert the script highlighted here into the header's source code, and now you have a working website that won't raise any flags. I will now demonstrate how to use BEEF. What you first want to do is navigate to the directory with BEEF in it and execute the program. As that's loading, you can see in the next terminal I started the Apache 2 service and then started Metasploit in case we use that at a later time. If you're working within a local host, you would use the local address for the hook and the user interface URLs. Otherwise, you can use the IP addresses listed below. So now I'm going to select the user interface and navigate to it. The default username and password for Beef is Beef. And then once you log in, you can see that there is information for the computer listed in the Details tab. Right here, it lists browser version, platform, gives you plenty of information on the target computer. A few examples of the options that you have. You can redirect the browser to any page you'd like, which can be useful if you have other scripts or other programs at specific URLs that you'd like to download. As you can see, the site just got redirected to Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and navigate back. A great tool that can be used is under the social engineering folder. You can specify whichever login credential you're trying to spoof, and this will send a pop-up to the user to log in. Be sure to input your URL into the IP address right here. And that's only if you wanted to insert a specific image, one of your own creation. Otherwise, you can use the default and a pop-up will appear on the website like this. Wait for the user to enter their email address and password and log in. And then once you go back to the command area, you can see that the information has populated. Another useful step would be to ensure that your session remains intact after they leave your page. So what you can do is you can navigate to persistence, and then you can choose create pop under. And then once you execute the tab, it'll do a pop-up that's tiny, and it pops up underneath their current browsing session. So from here, they could navigate away from your page, and the persistent browser that is underneath it will remain, and you won't have to lose your session. I will demonstrate that real quick. As you can see, I navigated away, and my session remains active. In conclusion, getting the most out of Beef depends entirely on the amount of setup and information you've gathered on your target. It can be used to push scripts, gather information, and if the system proves to be vulnerable, it can even be used to launch an interpreter shell on the target PC. It is a powerful tool and useful tool that can be combined with set or metasploit to deliver results. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation on Beef. Obviously, there are many more facets to this program that you can use. It takes a lot of exploring and a lot of trial and error, especially when trying to get the interpreter shells to work. They do have one script that doesn't work on Windows 10 machines or any updated browsers, but if anybody's sporting a Windows Vista machine or Windows XP machine, what they call browser autopone, What it does is it tries to launch about 20 to 22 scripts, and in the cases of vulnerable browsers, you will receive an interpreter shell. Otherwise, with updated technologies, you are left with taking advantage of their stupidity more than anything. Getting them to click OK, getting them to respond to dialog boxes, or getting them to log in with their credentials through a fake login screen. Thank you for your time, and have a good day.